You won't believe how one small shift changed his entire life. He was stuck for years, feeling trapped in his own mind until he discovered this ancient secret. What happened next will leave you speechless. Jin sat on his bed, staring at the ceiling. The morning sun had already risen, but he hadn't moved. He had things to do, important things, but once again, the weight of doing them felt too heavy. His mind swirled with thoughts of tomorrow and later, words that had become his comfort zone. Procrastination was his constant companion, and the more he let it control him, the further away his goals seemed. Jin wasn't lazy, at least. That's what he told himself. He wanted to change, but every time he thought about taking action, the mountain in front of him seemed to grow higher. "I'll start tomorrow," he muttered, just like he did yesterday. He had big dreams, like learning new skills and making a better life for himself, but for some reason, doing the actual work seemed impossible. One day, frustrated and ashamed of his inability to move forward, Jin went to visit his old friend, Master Li, a wise Zen monk who had lived through many seasons of life. Jin had always found peace in Master Li's presence, but this time he wasn't sure if even the monk's wisdom could help him. As he entered the quiet monastery, Master Li was sweeping the leaves, each motion deliberate and calm. Jin watched him for a while, trying to find the courage to speak. Finally, he said, "Master, I need help. I have so many things I want to do, but I can't seem to start. Every time I think about it, I feel overwhelmed. I feel stuck." Master Li paused, leaned on his broom, and looked at Jin with soft eyes. "The mind can be like a muddy pond, Jin. When we stir it too much, we can't see clearly. But when we allow it to settle, the water becomes clear." Jin frowned. "But how does that help me? I don't have time to let things settle. I need to get things done, but I keep putting them off." Master Li smiled. "Come, sit with me." He led Jin to a small bench under a tree. The world around them was quiet except for the soft rustle of leaves in the wind. Procrastination, my friend, is often a sign that we are afraid. We fear failure, or we fear the task will be too hard. We imagine the work as a great mountain, impossible to climb. But in reality, it is not the mountain that is difficult. It is our mind that makes it so. Jin listened, but he wasn't sure how to change his habits. So what should I do? How do I stop procrastinating? Master Li placed a hand on Jin's shoulder. Start small. Often, the hardest part is beginning. The mountain is not climbed in one leap, but one step at a time. If you focus only on the first step, the mountain will not seem so overwhelming. And remember, it is not about being perfect. It is about progress. Jin thought about this for a moment. It seemed simple, too simple. But maybe that was the point. "But what if I don't feel like doing it?" he asked. Master Li chuckled softly. "If we wait for perfect conditions, we will never move. Some days you will feel resistance. On those days, start with just 5 minutes. Tell yourself, I will do this for 5 minutes, and then I can stop if I want. Once you begin, you will find that the hardest part is behind you. Momentum will carry you forward." Jin nodded, though doubt still lingered in his mind. Could 5 minutes really make that much of a difference? The next morning, Jin woke up and looked at his list of tasks. His first reaction was the familiar sense of dread. But then he remembered Master Li's words. "Just 5 minutes," he whispered to himself. He picked the smallest task, something that wouldn't take long, and started working. 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 15. Before he realized it, an hour had gone by, and the task was done. Jin blinked in surprise. He had actually finished something. Over the next few weeks, Jin continued practicing this approach. Whenever he felt overwhelmed, he broke his tasks into the smallest possible steps. "I will just write 1 sentence," he would tell himself, or "I will only clean 1 corner of the room." And each time, once he started, the work didn't seem as hard as he had imagined. Slowly but surely, he began to rebuild his confidence. But it wasn't just about the work. Master Li had also taught him something deeper. "Your mind," the monk had said, "is like a garden. If you plant seeds of doubt and fear, those plants will grow. But if you plant seeds of hope and action, you will harvest progress. Jin realized that much of his procrastination came from the stories he told himself. He had convinced himself that the work was too hard or that he wasn't good enough to do it. But those were just stories. By changing the narrative in his mind, he found that he could also change his actions. One day, Jin returned to the monastery to thank Master Li. "Your advice has helped me so much," Jin said, "but I still have days where I fall back into old habits." Master Li smiled knowingly. "That is the nature of the mind, Jin. It wanders. But remember, each day is a new opportunity. If you fall, do not stay down. Get up, take one small step, and continue on your path. There is no shame in starting over, as long as you do not give up." Jin left the monastery feeling lighter. He knew that procrastination wouldn't disappear overnight. It would be a battle, but now he had the tools to fight it. Every day he would take small steps, and little by little, he would reach his goals. As time passed, Jin's life began to change. He no longer felt as paralyzed by fear or doubt. His dreams, once distant and hazy, were now within reach. And whenever he felt the familiar pull of procrastination, he reminded himself of the simple truth that Master Li had taught him. Start small, and the mountain will not seem so high.